Hey there, gold makers. This is Reckles with Want to Buy Gold, and today we're going to be taking a look at TradeSkillMaster versus Tycoon, two of the most popular gold making add-ons out there on YouTube. Now, TradeSkillMaster is far and away the most popular gold making add-on among serious gold makers right now. But because of some creative marketing by Dynasty, the company that owns Tycoon, if you're just looking at YouTube, it may seem more popular than it actually is. Now, I have two reasons for doing this comparison in the first place. First, it's hard to find legitimate information out there on Tycoon, mainly because all the videos you see are either sponsored videos or they're put up by people who are using the affiliate system that Tycoon has set up. So they're just trying to get you to click on a link or buy Tycoon through their affiliate system so they can make money. So just to get that out there, I'm not affiliated with Tycoon. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I just want you to have good information so you can make the most gold possible. Secondly, a lot of gold makers out there bash Tycoon without ever giving it its fair shot. And I believe in testing everything first before you make up your mind. So let's give it a whirl. Okay, so let's get going. You may be asking yourself why we aren't looking at Auctioneer or Auctionator in this comparison too. In a sense we are, because Tycoon is actually a mod for Auctioneer. It requires it to run, it can't operate solo, it's not a standalone add-on. So you log in, you open up Auctioneer, and you click a little button and your auction house window transforms into the Tycoon window. On the other hand, TradeSkillMaster is a standalone add-on. You can use it with Auctioneer or Auctionator. You can use it with any other add-on you want, but really, it's developed so much that you don't really need anything else to make gold. Also, before I continue at all, the most important difference between these two is that TradeSkillMaster is free and Tycoon costs $50. So that is a huge difference. And for anyone wondering how they can charge for an add-on, because isn't that against the terms of service, you aren't technically paying Tycoon for the add-on. The add-on is free, but you're like paying for the support, or you're paying for the subscription to the website, or like you're paying for something else. It's been brought up, it's been dealt with. Blizzard knows they aren't cheating. It's still shady. Alright, enough of that. Let's get into the meat and potatoes. What does Tycoon actually do? Can you make gold with it? You open up the first tab of Tycoon and you see a bunch of percentages and a trend line and a bunch of profit percentages. This is telling you things that you can flip, buy now, and sell later for more gold. I have two main problems with this. First, since it's based on Auctioneer, these numbers are based on your local data only. Furthermore, you have to scan your auction house manually to build up your database in order to get reliable, even semi-reliable for this data. Local sources like this, and by local I mean your server only, are only good for markets where there's not a lot of variability in price. The price isn't depreciating over time like with crafted items, and it's not high value items. It's a very limited value source. But this is the only thing that you can use. Furthermore, you can't adjust the percentages. So with TradeSkillMaster, if you wanted to say, I think Transmog will be profitable if I buy it at 40% of the global median price, that's great. Or I think I could flip it if I buy it at 70% of my market posting price. So this difference in customizability and different use of sources leads me to my next pro and con, and actually pro and con for both of these add-ons. TradeSkillMaster is absolutely fantastic because it's so customizable. You can say how much you want to post things at, you can use different sources, you can say how much you want to craft things at, all that good stuff. But it does take a little while to set all that up. Of course, you do have an import function, so if someone like myself, or Fatloots, or Elvine already has a TradeSkillMaster import list set up, you can just import those groups and operations, and you're good to go. However, it can still be pretty intimidating for new users. On the other hand, Tycoon has absolutely zero customization, except for like a little button that you can't even remove off your UI, but that lack of customization does make it really easy to set up. Along the same lines, Tycoon is prettier because it's so simple. TradeSkillMaster is just kind of a plain Jane. It's kind of like Tycoon is the Apple and Windows is the PC. One is prettier looking and one is boring, but you can get a lot more functionality for a better price. So my second problem with flipping with Tycoon is that when you go to buy something, it doesn't even purchase the item. It just puts it into a shopping list that you then have to go back into your main auctioning program and purchase the item with. This is kind of a minor thing, but on fast-moving servers, the big servers like Darkspear or Stormrage or Kazakh EU, that item may be gone by the time you're done setting up your shopping list and you go back in to purchase it. There can be a couple minutes in between saying, hey, this is a good flip, and then actually purchasing it, and that time is important when you're sniping items. You might as well just use the sniping function in TradeSkillMaster, which there are a plethora of video guides out there for. Now, one of the most important things to gold making is crafting items. Tycoon does this pretty well. It has a really neat list that shows the profit and the trend and which day it sold a lot and which day it didn't sell. And that's all neat. It's pretty, it's good, it's user-friendly. It has a user-friendly interface. But, like I said, you don't know if that data is reliable, first off. But secondly, when you put it in your crafting queue, you have to be at the auction house in order to do that. And then you can only queue up one item at a time. And then you have to go and craft that item in your profession before you can go back and queue up another profitable item. This doesn't work. With TradeSkillMaster, you just open up your profession tab wherever you are, and voila, a huge list of all the glyphs you can craft, and you just go through them one by one and craft away. It's easy as that. For people like blacksmiths, where you actually have to be at an anvil, it would really suck to go back and forth from the auction house to the anvil, auction house to the anvil. Not worth it at all. So, I'll be honest, I have tried using this add-on, and it pisses me off that they are charging $50 for something that was a mediocre add-on 4 years ago, 5 years ago. But you know what? There is one positive thing that I will say about it. If you go to the Gathering tab, it can show you all the profitable gathering things like the ore and herb and cloth. If it says Serenite ore is profitable right now and you click on the Serenite ore, it'll actually fill your map with a route of how to farm Serenite ore. That's cool. That's unique. TradeSkillMaster should implement something like this. Other add-ons should implement this. You listening, Sapu? Sapu, do this. So, should you pay $50 just for this benefit? Well, if you download Routes and Gathermate, you can do the same thing with more customization, because all of these routes include every ore in the zone, and as you farmers know, those aren't always the best routes. But honestly, it's a cool feature, and I might test out some of these routes later. But hey, if you have $50 to blow, and you want to buy it, go for it. I'm not going to stop you, but download TradeSkillMaster. Use TradeSkillMaster first, because, like I said, Tycoon has been outdated for 4 years. It's not a good add-on. It's not worthwhile. And even when you go to craft items, you can't. And if you're a purist and you think, hey, I'm paying for service and that's what I value, then why don't you do what I do and you log into the TradeSkillMaster IRC chat at 4 in the morning. The developers of TradeSkillMaster are there 24/7 to answer your questions. I have logged in at 4 in the morning and immediately gotten an answer to my questions by 3 of the developers who are online, willing to answer my questions at any time of the day or night. It's an amazing app, fully supported, great community. Just, I don't know. I'm done ranting. It's a shit program. They pay to promote it. They buy 100,000 views on all these independent videos that are supposed to be guides but aren't actually guides on it, are just affiliate links. And I've had 750 dislikes purchased against my videos. I know of other people who have had hundreds and thousands of dislikes purchased against their videos. I don't know if it was them, but someone who would buy 100,000 likes would also be inclined to buy a couple thousand dislikes against a competitor. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm done. I'm done talking about this. I'm done ranting. So just, buy it if you want. It's a shit add-on. Just use TradeSkillMaster, guys.